to be here.
As am I. Very happy to be sitting in this beautiful seat. We have our producer, Baldo, in the house today, actually giving us the sense of a real audience.
I love it.
Me too. And I woke up in such an excited and great mood. I had time and gave myself time, although I only had 30 minutes to feed the dogs, get some coffee, take 50 million supplements I take every morning. So I had my morning ritual. I prayed and meditated.
Oh my gosh, it always feels so good when you get it in.
Yes, it felt really good and helped me get into the alignment of, who I wanted to show up as today. And I received some awesome news. Well, one, my clients let me pick a ton of their chili pekins, these little baby chilies that grow off these bushes. They're actually like really good omens when you get them in your backyard.
Oh, awesome.
The only way that you can get them in your backyard is if a bird happens to eat one of the fruits, poops the seed, comes the plant. So I had this huge bushel downstairs. I can't wait to show you. And I got an email from NLP Empowerment telling me that I am an official certified NLP practitioner.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. Yes. I was like, you just got to set the tone for your day and set the intention of, how can I present myself? How can I be the frequency of love? And, I even tell my spirit guides, like, you have permission today.
Yes.
To give me the signs that I need to succeed and be well.
Well, that kind of ties in perfectly to what we're talking about today for our topic of speaking of succeeding and being well.
Is spending the cheese.
Spending the cheese.
There's so many different rap songs that kind of work well with the title and the theme of today. We've got Young Yeezy, who sings She's a Hoodie Hood Rat.
Oh,
She
yeah.
Know Where the Cheese At, which is one of my all-time favorites.
That's a classic.
It's rough. It's a very rigid, really rough song. Like, I'm not rolling down the windows to that song yet.
I fully embrace the fact that I love some serious gangster rap.
Yes. And then you've got Jay-Z.
Big Pimpin's my fave.
Yeah, that's a good song. I'm trying to think when that came out. I think I was in elementary.
It's like 98.
Yes, then I was in elementary for sure.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it's a big topic because it's the number one reason why people get divorced. Money.
Yeah.
It's what a lot of people want. It's kind of like a link to so many things: freedom, health, experience,
fame,
investment in yourself. Like, what kind of food can you afford, and all these different things. So money is just such a big part of
our lives. Yeah. And it is easy to develop fear around it, at least for me. It's a very difficult topic, and I find myself getting rather uncomfortable when I look at spreadsheets or, when my husband Eric will be like, hey, let's talk about budgeting. And I'm like, oh God, that sounds like the last thing that I ever want to do. I like to hand my credit card at times and be like, just hope for the best.
Yeah, you said that the other day.
That was usually me in college. I remember there was this place that I loved. I'd always go get like a ham sandwich and a broccoli and cheese soup. And there'd be days where I was like, I have no idea if they're going to actually let me get my sandwich and soup today, because I had no idea it was in my bank account. There was some sort of fear that was established in me that created that anxiety, the feeling that I received just even logging into my bank account and checking. I don't know what it is.
I used to have that same thing. I would never check my bank account.
Never.
Like, it was like kryptonite to me.
I like to think, like, where did that happen? Like, what happened in our lives if we have this similarity that initiated that response and belief pattern, or this emotional response and visceral response of, yeah, I am so uncomfortable looking at my bank account. Maybe because, like, we don't understand it.
I think it's like such a layered experience because for me, it was also like representing like a sense of like self-worth because, when you have much like more money in the bank, you're seemingly having a better success. And when I was really struggling and but just kind of like disconnected from self in college, it was like the lack of responsibility or something. Like I didn't want to have to deal with almost being an adult
Yeah.
because I had never had to
Be one.
manage a bank account. Like I
Mm-mm.
didn't get one in high school or anything. It was
Yeah,
just
I remember my
it was more
sister
of a
and
cash world at that point. So,
sorry, Mom, but my sister and I used to steal like $20 out of my mom's purse.
oh, I did it all the time. Sorry, mom.
Sorry, Mom. Yeah,
Um,
I don't know what we would get with it, to be honest. Just probably going to the movies and maybe pot.
yeah,
It's
definitely
like
pot.
like a gram of something.
Hmm.
Food. I love sushi, but anyway.
I think it was also the thrill of getting away with taking $20 out of your mom's wallet too.
Yeah, we would literally be like, okay, we're going to pull up into the garage. Margot, you run. Mom's purse is in the laundry room.
Be a distraction.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, good times, good times. Hey, so what is the most important $100 or what was the most important $100 you ever spent on yourself? I think that's like a really interesting question. Like, what's the most important $100, which is really not much these days.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it's definitely my gym membership in college that ultimately ended up being where I found yoga because had I never found yoga, I can't even imagine the hot mess that I would be without being able to drop in my body and be present in my body, which ultimately has been the key to unlock a lot of those blocks that we were talking about, like not being able to like face your bank account.
Yeah, I'm so happy the $100 was in there whenever I decided to
I
get
know, me
whatever.
too. I would literally do the same thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
just run it until it would be rejected. But
Oh gosh, those moments were terrible.
yeah, but being in yoga really helps me learn how to be uncomfortable and breathing through that anxious energy that you feel and sometimes like poses that you're all tied up, and it really translated into my outer life. So I think that's ultimately the best $100 I've spent.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It was actually $20.
$20.
It was $20. Yeah, I couldn't even go as far as $100. I mean, I could think, well, maybe because it was the 20 months dollar initiation fee. Gosh, I can't speak today. My bad, guys. You $20, 14 days unlimited, and then so next was the $100 membership fee because I signed up obviously clearly after the 14 days, and that was beyond. I think it was such a extreme experience that I moved from one veil into another. It was just like blast.
Yeah.
And I took off, and here I am,
I
7 years later.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
What was the worst $100 you've ever spent?
I got my latex jumpsuit that didn't show up on time.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a Matrix jumpsuit for a really fun birthday party of mine last week. We dressed up as the Matrix and skated around a rink, and I had this awesome getup, and it never showed, so it was a big disappointment. I'm sure I probably have other ones, but
Yeah, like I'm thinking about like go back into your high school days, the trenches of bad mistakes.
Man, I don't know.
Totally okay.
Yeah.
I guess you've always been a good investor. See? Good with money.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know what is considered bad. Like, what do you mean? Like it,
Like, I was thinking like the first time I bought like a gram of
see,
cocaine.
okay, that's where my head was originally. So, but the good news is I never really had to buy any drugs. It was always available to me.
See, that's when you know you have the problem is you start buying it.
Oh, well, it happens and you learn from it. It's not like you're out there
I
like,
guess like it's not good or bad. It was just, like a life moment where you're like, wow, I just did that.
yeah, I just threw that down.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
going in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a spontaneous question.
No, I thought it was a great question.
Yeah.
I'll probably later, right before bed. Right before bed is like my most creative time where like all these things come to me. And I'll text you and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone listening, I'll let you know next time.
Yes.
Well, okay, so we have the most important $100 you ever spent. What is the biggest investment you've ever made for yourself?
My biggest investment, what I actually did this year, working with my friend Sarah Delane, and she's a brand strategist, NLP lead teacher. So she works with you in helping you create and get clear on your brand and your vision and what it is that you want to bring into the world. But as you're doing that, she's also helping you clear and remove your blocks around success and around what it is that you're here to do. And she was 15K for an
Nice.
investment.
Yeah.
And that was the largest reinvestment that I had spent for my service to the world and what it is that I do to date.
What did you learn through the process?
Uh,
I'm sure you're also continuing to learn, but
I just learned that I felt the most passionately about working with women and have decided to, not that I don't love men, but really focus on working with women. I feel like I'm able to hold a really divine space for transformation.
mhm.
And this 12-week process, 12 and 6-week processes that I designed, being a woman and identifying as a woman, I'm able to understand that path and that journey the most. And she really helped me feel comfortable with being clear on that and defining my vision and taking me through a process of what I would even want that to look like and feel like, and then the colors, and really helped me kind of shed this. I'm always going to be earthy, but this point of my life, I'm really moving into more of this woman, glamorous and put together, and yeah, just that real authentic version of myself coming forward and up leveling into my own version. So she helped me up level not only just myself, but everything else in my life consequently too.
You do a tremendous job at bringing out your inner goddess and
Thank
living
you.
life intentionally through the eyes of a goddess, just for like the small rituals and things that you have placed in your home. Guys, you've got to meet Liz and just check out her vibe. And we were recently in a bus with a couple of friends, and we got into some fun topics, and a more of a topic we'll get into next episode. And she really does know how to own herself and own her presence, and how to honor her heart and honor her sacred, I guess, her body and spirit. And so much that I think when you become this in tune with your inner goddess, you begin to nurture the inner God, like the inner man. So you become more balanced and in harmony with the male and the female.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful to experience you by my side because of being able to witness and also be inspired by,
Thanks, Jenna.
by your
my
divine.
heart is gleaming.
Ooh.
And that was like all an investment.
Yeah.
You know, like even us just going and buying our fabulous jewelry a couple weeks ago, you know, that's all part of the
Investing
in yourself and investing in the goddess energy. A lot of people like wait for it to happen. Like when it happens, I'll invest. But that's the key. You just have to say, fuck it.
Yeah.
And do it. Like, even if you don't have the money in that moment, you'll manifest it. 'Cause
Exactly.
when you choose yourself, that is that energy of abundance. And that's operating from that mindset, which is, you know, not lack. That lack mindset is like, oh, once I get it, then I can do that. And that abundance mindset says, I feel like this is the best thing for me and I'm just going to do it.
It's flow and remembering both sides. It's a transaction. It's balanced. You know, if we go into looking at our bank account with a lot of rigid energy and fear, and then let's hold on to it and hold on to it and hold on to it. And even saying that, I could feel my muscles feel tight. But if you just think, no, I'm going to embrace the earnings, I'm going to congratulate myself and show myself these different outlets in which I can invest in me, whether I want to invest in an incredible workshop or a program or a certificate, a new branding your business in any way that you can catapult yourself to constantly in rhythm of growth and evolution to move forward. And your relationship with money is equally, if not more, important, because what you give out, you receive back.
Totally.
And how do you give grace when you spend? Am I giving you $100, like, you know, shaking my hand like on the way? Or am I grabbing and saying, oh my God, Liz, that was amazing. Thank you so much for working with me today.
Yeah.
I'm just so privileged to have worked with you. And what was the most important thing that you learned? You know, just creating a conversation when someone pays you or you give money. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this new session. Here's $100, Liz. Like, I can't wait to learn more about myself and how to be an inner goddess.
Yeah.
It's embracing the transaction.
People can feel your energy around it. You know, if you're like, oh, the program costs, you know, for me, it's all about, you know, walking the walk and talking the talk.
Yeah.
And I've done so much hypnotherapy around my money shit.
Yeah.
So what about you? What's been your biggest investment?
I have two, if you don't mind.
No, I don't.
This dress.
Nice.
Yeah. I wore it today for that specific reason. It's the most expensive, and I'm not trying to be conceited. I'm not trying to be like, oh, look at me. It's like, I saw it and I lost my shit. I put it on and I was like, I don't even know if I should give the price, but
you should own it.
I do own it.
Yeah.
It's mine. Like the price or like
yeah,
own
whatever
it now?
you want. Yeah.
Oh, it was like $18.50.
Yeah. Say it with
Off the runway.
Yeah. $18.50. This fabulous dress.
Yes,
you're worth it.
I was worth it. And I told myself in that moment, and prior to buying this dress, actually, I was very rigid and very scared to spend my own money, and just like money in general, always fearful that I was going to get in trouble for some reason. So it's interesting how my inner child is very connected.
Who taught you that as a kid?
To be afraid. You know, sorry, Mom and Dad, but my parents.
Yeah, me too.
You know, they held money over me. It was, if I didn't do anything that I liked, or that not I liked, that they liked, clearly I was liking what I was doing, they would hold money over my head. You know, I had moments where they took my car away, they took all my money away, and they wanted to take college away from me, and it was a constant threat. And I decided to say, sorry, you know, threaten me with money, but, you know, I'm going to continue to make the decisions that I want to make for me. And I know I'm doing everything in alignment with what I'm wanting in there now. And, but I, you know, of course, some of that trauma that went down ingrained some of its claws.
Yeah, but
right,
when
in
you
my
make
psyche.
purchases like this, it breaks.
It broke it. Yeah.
It breaks the spell.
It did. It broke the spell, and ever since then, I have been more in flow and tapped into receiving money, because I used to hate to receive it too, as you know, as the teacher.
How did that manifest for you? Like, how did that show up for you, and that you didn't like receiving money?
I was constantly always looking down. And if someone would be like, hey, can I just pay you later? I'd be like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. And it was just like, oh, the don't worry about it. Just that even coming out of my mouth just is not in alignment. Just be like, okay, great. I look forward to receiving it. You know what I mean?
But not having that like clear boundary.
Yeah. So it's like, I understand if there's like, oh my God, you forgot your credit card, or like something's not working, but you know, just still being very like, I look forward to receiving it. Not, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So just in the way that I was communicating, and my way of being and my posture was something that I've noticed has really changed. Now I have an open heart. You know, money is green, which is the same energy or the same color as the heart chakra.
Yeah.
And that's all kind of where it really does stem from. My initial and first investment was on my yoga studio, which is actually right underneath our feet, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And you had a psychic tell you.
I had a psychic tell me in this room. Yeah. And 5 years ago, her name is Alyssa Melhorn. She's incredible. I love her content. And she was like, you're going to write a book. And I've had multiple people tell me that. You're going to write a book, and you are going to own a yoga studio one day. And then I resonated with that. It felt really good. And then I left an old job. I actually met Baldo that day. Do you remember Baldo? Yeah. I met him that day. I met Jonathan that day, and I was telling him that I had just left a job because I'm about to embark on my own brand called Obsidian.
Awesome.
And they were like, cool, we're doing podcasts. You want to come next week? We'll interview you. And I was like, oh shit. Well, I guess I got to put my big girl pants on and actually not just talk a game, but act upon it. And surely enough, I think 6 months later, I got this nail polish color, and it was like really wild, but it was like $6.55. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. Cool. And then that afternoon, I found this location. It was right under their feet, and the square footage was 655 square feet.
Wow.
So I called Baldo. I said, hey, can you come downstairs? I'm going to come and look at the space. It was an old barbershop, and gutted it up, new baseboards, color. And I made it my secret garden, my space of creativity and expression. I've got, crystals and really beautiful chairs.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't look...
Fabulous art. Mm-hmm. And she has this beautiful tea set, and she'll make you tea.
Tea service is very important. It's how you have a wonderful conversation. Like, you're not feeling well? Let's have a cup of tea. You have a broken heart? Let's talk about it.
That's actually like a hypnotherapy tool. If you hand somebody a warm beverage, they're going to feel warmth towards you versus a cold one.
Absolutely.
Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm. And based upon...
people always feel more comfortable with warm beverages.
Yeah. And based upon how people are walking in, I'll know exactly which type of tea remedy I want to give them. One time I had someone come in and she was coughing, and I was like, are you feeling okay? She was like, I'm just a little congested. I was like, okay. So I made her peppermint tea.
Oh, beautiful.
So she was able to kind of work through it. So anyway, this fabulous off the runway dress and the studio space right underneath us. So I feel very, very proud of myself, very in alignment with who I am and what I'm supposed to be. And even thinking about it right now just fills me up with so much joy.
What's the next big investment for Jenna?
The next big investment is either going to be doing my master practitioner for NLP, where I'll do emotional mental release, hypnotherapy, and then offer breakthrough sessions. After that, I want to become an integrative health coach.
Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, I always hand you pills. Take this.
I know. I had a tiny cough. I think you'll hear me kind of coughing in our last episode. And I go over to Jenna's and she hands me like 20 pills. It's awesome. I just keep on eating them like a little pill monster.
Yeah.
Nothing from pharmaceutical companies.
No,
though.
this is
Only
all herbs,
and
all natural. Those are the good ones. And
the good stuff.
speaking of investment, I think, and I love how we just segued into investing in your health.
Oh yeah, that's like the greatest investment.
It's the greatest, one of the most ultimate investments there is taking ownership of your own health and putting it back into your hands. I think it was like in the turn of the 20th century, and in terms of allopathic medicine, which is Western medicine, they said everything is a diagnosis. Everything that you experience is based upon your genes. So like you're predestined, and you have predetermined illnesses and diseases. And it was called, I think, genetic determinism. So what happens is if you just go along this idea that, okay, it's in my genes and, oh, blind luck, cool, like I'm not going to have that, or, well, gosh, I guess I'm screwed with Alzheimer's like later in life. We process and program that, and thinking about our genetic code, not to say that genetic expressions aren't real, but it was eliminating the fact that our environment, our traumas, our family upbringing, experiences, lifestyles, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, we're not at cause, right? So it's like kind of like you're predestined. All right, good luck,
Well, Dr. Bruce Lipton totally blasted that out of the
epigenetics.
water with epigenetics.
Yes.
That's just essentially what that's showing me is that that's the power of your mind, right? If you think it, you believe it, because people that are even adopted, if people constantly essentially are cursing them, telling them that, oh, this runs in our family, I don't even like to give the example, then that's, again, just a subconscious program.
It is.
When people tell you, like, oh, you're going to lose your vision at 40, that's like all subconscious programming. So, don't listen to people when they're trying to medically hex you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we're giving our power away to these clinicians. They have all the answers. They know everything, and they're like our last hope for what's to happen. And they're like, here are these magic pills for you to take. And unfortunately, we're just getting sicker and sicker, and we are not in ownership of who we are. Like, you think we really came into this life, into this world, without any power, any potential to actually turn a switch on or off?
But this is the issue, right? Is that all of that stuff that we're talking about is covered by insurance, and what the other alternative things are not.
It's
right?
spending money, spending the cheese.
Exactly. So just coming back to that original thing, there's so many avenues that you have the opportunity to invest and show yourself like, hey, I love myself. Maybe I am not going on this trip so that I can invest in coming to a place like MSW Lounge and getting an IV or blood work. And that's like another way of a barometer of how we really love ourselves, is seeing what, let me see your credit card statements and can tell you what you're investing in.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people say that they don't have money for XYZ or time for XYZ, but we have time to scroll on Instagram,
watch
Netflix, or buy copious amounts of drinks, each drink being like what, $14, $20. I
thought you were going to say copious amounts of Coke.
No, not anymore. I mean, at least not me, but I know.
I think it would have sounded better, but
copious amounts of cocaine.
No, but
I
you're
just
right.
had a cocaine flashback of doing a line of cocaine that was the outline of America.
You were telling me about this the other day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a cookie cutter. You kind of corral the cocaine around the cookie cutter, and then you lift it, and then you were gifted with the outline of the great.
I made it around the
country.
peninsula of Florida, but that was about it.
Yeah, it was kind of like how far you could go, which determined your hardcoreness.
Yeah.
Definitely not great for you.
But it's true, because everything is a choice, and how we're there's some ways that, or what are the ways that we can cut costs here and there so we can fill the cup where we know mostly is, investing in ourselves and investing in our longevity and, this incredible life in this body that we've been given. Like, maybe don't buy that bottle of wine. Maybe don't go to dinner 3 times out of the week. How are there ways? And you actually will slowly but surely find the ways to get what you need.
If you care, that's everybody talks about, oh, just love yourself, love yourself. It is the hardest thing to love yourself, because that means that you have to hold yourself personally accountable to all these different things, like
You have to hold yourself accountable for
everything.
all the things that are happening in your life. What you're witnessing in the external, you stay accountable for, because that's what's happening on the inside.
And I think the other thing that I would highly recommend in steering away is, a lot of people talk about how broke they are and they enroll other people in that. And again, our words are magic. You're like creating a spell and creating it. And the more
You're
people,
creating truth,
reality. And
reality.
the more people you enroll in your brokenness, the more energy that they're sending to that very thing. So I also want to just illuminate in this whole like spending cheese thing is, observe how you talk about money and how you are talking about money with your friends. And if you are talking from a place of abundance or lack, um, that realization really helps shift a lot of things for me, and attracting and manifesting an abundance into. Uh, so money again is such a big lesson, such a teacher for us in this incarnation, in the society that we live in.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's our self-worth. We've put so much into it, and how we want to be perceived from other people is, have you ever heard of the term? It's funny, I saw the 30,000 millionaires, or am I saying it right?
$30,000 millionaires.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that term.
Yeah. I didn't really understand that term until I lived in Dallas a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because we are looking for that external validation that we think is money.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to a lot of people that make that money, that cheese, that cheddar, and they're still like miserable. And that's the other thing, that true happiness has to come from within. Like, money can make you comfortable. I think they did that research. Like, basically after like 75K, probably 100 now with our rising inflation, there's like no real difference of happiness. Like, once all your like basic needs are covered and you have some vacay money and like you can buy some extra things, like you're pretty good. Like, so the general like happiness that money can give you doesn't really affect you beyond $75,000. And yet we see this drive to make more, to
Be more.
and to look better and have these things. And
But you get stuck in the hamster wheel.
yeah, it's like money is great. I mean, money is just a tool, right? It's like a hammer can build you a house, or you could hit somebody over the head with it.
Wow.
It's just, and I think that's what we have to look at money as too. It's just a tool. It's a tool that can be great, but it's not a tool
That truly fills you up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true. I
Yeah.
mean, glam, friends, mansion, airplane, Rolls Royce, and you could still feel even more alone and empty than ever.
Yeah, look at Britney Spears.
Yeah, that is a very sad story.
I mean, but you see it all the time with celebrities and stars and people with money. I mean, they don't know who their real friends are.
No. Yeah.
My dad's father always said, I never got to meet him because he died before I died, but my dad told me, he said that, you are a truly blessed person if you can count, 5 people that really have your back.
Yeah.
You're really lucky.
Yeah, I think that goes along the line with spending cheese is also, it's not quantity, it's quality.
Mm-hmm.
What are the types of quality things that we're going to bring or utilize in our lives that are going to enrich our spirit, that are going to allow us to continue on in this beautiful life, spiritual journey that we're embarking on currently? How can these experiences bring more, quality into being more of an expert, being more of an artist? Like, what are the different things you can tap into that will give you more perspective on life and feel more well-rounded and understanding in different facets of our experiences?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very, very powerful. When we're inviting in investment, it's for the purpose of growth.
Yeah.
If we are not growing, we're regressing. Non-growth is death. And, we want to be playing characters in our lives, not non-playing characters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so as a playing character, you're actively, with clarity, mindfulness, and intention, choosing the things that you need, picking the different, flavors of cheese, and taking them with you so that when we are finally on our deathbed, we're not looking back like, damn, I should have given that stripper $2,000 instead of one.
Or like, I should have taken that trip.
Yeah.
Do
you want those relationships? God, I learned so much.
Yeah.
I met this mentor. I became a mentor. I helped others. And I think it's very true. I mean, there's an article, it's pretty easy to find. I'm sure there's more than one, where people will interview people in their deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
And ask them, if the biggest regret is, they never took the chance on themselves. They never put in the initiative or believed in themselves enough to do the things that they want to do to fear.
Yeah.
And I think that's I'm a playing character. I'm going to win this game. I'm going to be on I'm yeah, hell yeah. I did this, I did that. I'm feeling so filled up with love. I am ready to move forward and move into the other side to meet God and to transcend.
Yeah.
Loaded.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what life is about. But money.
Money, 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 money.
I think my next big investment would be buying a farm off the grid.
Yes, I have the greenhouse, and I've got millions, billions of seeds.
Buy a tiny patch of land next to the ranch.
Yes. Yes. I already told you. We're getting in the car, we're loading up, we're heading out to the hill country.
Yes.
That's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because another really incredible form of investment is being self-sustainable.
Totally. That's the investment I want to make.
That's the investment of a lifetime.
I really learned during Snowpocalypse how just delicate the balance is of just all these different things. You know?
For those of y'all who don't really know what the snowpocalypse is,
yes.
I'm sure we all heard about the power grid in Texas going down. That was when 2 million people were without power and
electricity.
I mean, I know there was probably more than that, but I mean, it was a very scary and sad experience. My heart was broken, not only for all the people, especially people in hospitals, people in nursing homes, and children, but watching the animals. I saw I'm not even going to get into it, but I just saw a lot of animals slip on ice and fall. I can't imagine. A lot of them were out there freezing to death.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's true. It is in essence this level of, investing in yourself for the sake of survival.
I think, and just to get back to a more natural way of life, I think that's what I'm interested in, at least. It's, I realize how dependent I am on a system that I disagree so heavily with.
Right. And that disempowers us.
Yeah. And And I think that's what's so great about money is freedom. Like, okay, well, I don't really want to play by your rules, so I'm going to go and do my other thing over here, or at least be better prepared so that I don't have to do that
Yeah.
thing that I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah, connecting with Mother Earth is an investment of time, listening and being present and being there. We have so much ability to connect with the animals, to connect with the wind, to connect with all of the trees and plants that are out there. They're accessible to us, and so the time to be intuitive with them.
And that's the real abundance, I
I
think,
I think I
is
think
nature.
yeah, I think getting back to that definitely is. I took this book from your bookshelf. It's called Anastasia by a Valdemar Murig. I can't really say the last name, but it's translated. He's Russian. And it's about a woman that this explorer finds in the forest in these cedar in the Siberian taiga. And he meets this woman, and she is incredibly connected with nature to the level that she has beautiful relationships with the animals. She is powerful and strong, and he actually finds her so beautiful. He makes a pass at her, and she freaks out. And all of a sudden, he's like hit in the head, and he goes unconscious, and he wakes up, and she's like trying to tell him, "Don't do it." Well, she said, and he was like, "Why did that happen? What just went down?" And she says, "You were about to do something that was not in alignment with me. You were about to kind of hurt me. Therefore, I'm so in harmony with nature that the consciousness of nature did not like what you were about to do. So you were literally just struck by a natural force that took you down. Because if I am this connected to nature, nothing bad will ever happen to me."
Yeah.
And there's a lot of truth. I think these are very inspirational books. And the whole purpose of them is for the readers to really think about the content and utilize the tools and the philosophies for ourselves. Like, it actually really is like a documentary as much as it is a beautiful story, fairy tale.
Yeah. And what it kind of brings up for me is just like being in that abundance mindset is believing that spirit will always provide for you
Mm-hmm.
whatever is needed. You might not need like a Range Rover at this time, but you will always have a car if you so desire, or if you that is the need. And I think that that's the ultimate mindset, is really leaning in and trusting this invisible force. Because when I quit all my other jobs, I didn't make a plan B. I just knew I wanted to do healing work, and I had a little cushion saved up, but I just trusted that the universe would provide for me, and it did. And it always does. It gets down to the wire sometimes, but it always, I mean, not even anymore, but it used to get more down to the wire, and I'd be like, "Oh my God," freaking out. But I just
I'm
would,
going to have to look at my bank account.
I did. And I had to, I got to rather really learn this really beautiful lesson of trusting spirit through my lack of abundance issues.
So you had to drop lack because obviously it wasn't serving you. So as soon as you surrendered and let it go, everything
As it does,
as
you
it
know?
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
every time.
So whatever that connection is, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, we invite you to think about what is the most important $100 you've ever spent, and how did it put you on course to where you are today. And also, if you're feeling a little rigid, reach out to me. I know the most incredible places to spend money to buy a dress like this. If you want like a little champagne date and try on some fashion, I encourage you to get yourself something that you deserve, something you can wear with pride, something that, you know, I worked hard so I can have this, and this really does bring me happiness, because it's a reminder of me and my hard work, and I love that
Yeah.
reminder. I think that is what makes it even more nourishing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It puts it in your field.
It puts it in your field.
Make sure when you buy it that you like thank Spirit and you're like, I get to just pay for this so effortlessly.
Yeah, hand the check over, hand the credit card
And
over, the cash
I
over
pay
with
all
grace.
of my checks like that. I'm just like, I pay this with so much ease and grace and gratitude. And looking forward to paying those bills and looking at the bank account is what I do now, and it's much more satisfying.
Yes,
To be
it's a lot easier.
more connected. I still need to get on the spreadsheet zone.
Oh yeah, we have Eric helping you out with that one.
Yeah.
Shout out,
Eric. Thank you.
For the little book club continuing, I've got a great book I would like to share.
Yeah.
It is How to Do the Work by Nicole LaPura. You can follow her on Instagram. Her content is off the hook. I read it and save her content all the time. It's the holistic psychologist. And she is one of the first who made the, I guess, just the stance on, it's not the body separate from the mind. And, you just treat the mind. And then, other doctors treat the body. They are together. There's no separateness. It's all one. And so she started thinking of other Eastern ways, Eastern philosophies on how to heal and thinking about the mind, body, spirit connection. And it is incredible content. And she's a beautiful writer. And I am still reading the book and I can't wait to finish it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend Think and Grow Rich. That is a really powerful book. It talks a lot about what we were talking about, just the mindset that you have to shift. It has a lot of really great exercises. It's been on the bestseller list for years and years.
Who's the author?
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
Say it again, the title.
Think and Grow Rich. It was recommended to me by my mentor, who has gifted me so many wonderful books. But I think the first thing that helps people is really understand, again, this mindset, how we're talking about it, how we're thinking about money, how we were raised with money, how our parents talked about it. And that's a really great book to dive into as well.
I love it. I'm going to have to go find it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, pleasure speaking with you.
You too. Thank you guys.
My dear,
so much.
my goddess. And until next time.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.